Hello, manga and anime lovers. I'm Branch, and today I'm going to be talking about the final episode of Days with My Stepsister, episode 12. Oh, this was a great series. Really, it was. And even if it's not the best series out there, or even the best series of this season, and that goes to Losing Heroines in my opinion, it's just, there's something special about it that I really can't express clearly and put into words. It gives me a nice feeling inside whenever I watch it, even if I'm being sad. Now, this final episode, really, I didn't expect this kind of ending, but it is perfect. The ending to this season is fantastic, especially if we might not get into a second season, as I believe the author has posted that there's no plans currently for a second season, which is very disappointing, but what are you going to do? There's really a couple parts to this episode. The first is how Yuuta and Saki see each other out on, well, they don't see each other, but they know they're out on basically dates. Yuuta sees Saki going back from shopping, I believe, with the guy from class, who I mentioned last time, I believe is the person that Saki's friend wanted to set her up with. And Saki knows that Yuuta was out with a friend who is probably a girl. And so they get a little bit jealous of each other's situations, and that sparks the entire conversation going forward. Or at least it would if they weren't Saki and Yuuta. Thankfully, they have people pushing them to actually move along and not try and bottle everything up. I guess first I'll talk about Yuta's section, because really it was a bit of a surprise. I still can't remember her name, but the glasses girl turned out to be really important, much more important than I expected. How she is getting more friendly with Yuuta, but she wasn't actually a love interest like I thought she might be setting up to be. She was instead an actual just normal friend, although Yuuta was trying to explore his, options and see if he liked other people. Kind of like what Saki was doing. Although Saki found out really quickly that she didn't when the guy confessed to her and she had to shoot him down because she realized she liked Yuuta instead. Now, that's her part done because it's really quick. But so Yuuta goes out with this girl and she manages to get to the heart of the problem, kind of like the teacher did for Saki before, but in a bit of a different way, because this girl, it turns out, is kind of what Saki and Yuuta would have become if they hadn't met each other and they hadn't met their family members when they did. Because this girl's parents may have also been step-siblings or something similar. They were married underneath a similar taboo, it appears to be. And so when they died, she was shunned by all her family members and was turned into an orphan and just had a terrible life until her current adoptive mother, or auntie as she calls her, took her in and helped build herself back up again. She manages to talk Yuuta basically into not hiding his feelings, because the core of Yuuta and Saki's characters is that they try not to impose on other people because they believe that then the other people will in turn abandon them. I mean, Yuuta with his mother who cheated on his father and divorced, and Saki with her father who got mad at her mother, and same thing. And so really trust is the problem here. But throughout this entire series, they have been building mutual trust over time, and now they finally have enough to be able to really once again be honest with their feelings like they were in the first episode. And so Yuuta is convinced by Glasses Girl when she basically says to be human is to be selfish. All feelings are selfish, and so for you to hold something back is basically pointless. It's better to get it out than to let it fester inside of you and then come out in a terrible way later on. And so that's what he decides to do. For like the first time in this show, well, not the first time, but one of the first times in this show, Yuuta is the one that takes the plunge. It's not Saki. Because Yuuta has been kind of late on everything. He was late to realize his feelings and all that. But now he's the one to basically confess. Although it's not a confession, it's more like a statement saying, I think I've actually fallen for you. And the resulting discussion and the drama where Saki, tries to play it down because she doesn't want it to be the case, just like she did at the fireworks. And she runs away and hides in her room. And then Yuuta comes and he knocks, and then she knocks back. And eventually she accepts him into the room. And it's just amazing when they talk it out gradually. And Saki's breaking down, probably because of all these conflicting emotions. Like I said, bottling this stuff up is never good. Thankfully, Yuuta allowed her to let it out in a more controlled manner before it exploded. But she's basically a frantic mess this entire time because she has two different parts of herself fighting each other. And in this situation, they're all let out and she doesn't know what to say or do. But at the end of the day, they accept each other for who they are and basically say, you know what, let's move forward knowing this and try and play things by ear. go step by step and fully support each other, which is the contrast between the start of this series when they were saying, I won't impose on you and you won't impose on me and we won't expect anything of each other. And now they're basically saying, I'll fully rely on you and you can fully rely on me and we'll help each other. They've basically taken a huge roundabout detour to being actual family members. And then after that, probably something more. We'll see. Just absolutely amazing. I couldn't foresee a better ending to, I guess, this series as a whole, because I don't think the anime is going to continue, at least not for a while, unless it sells really good, and I hope it does, but I don't know. There's no way to tell. And really, the series as a whole has been fantastic. And I mean, I've mentioned all the little emotional things about how they're going up and down and how they go through this emotional character arc to become more trusting of each other and accept each other and push past their scarred pasts. But what makes this series actually special is just the care that the producers and the animators and everyone working on it puts into it. The direction specifically, where a lot of times the camera will just allow silence and stillness and the characters will just be doing their things. Like, again, the laundry scenes, my favorites in the series, or Saki shutting off the lights. Just the little touches that put the cherry on top of everything and make it one of the best series I've ever seen, because it's kind of like an actual movie, like a live action movie in that way. They don't have all the over the top parts that come with anime, but it still is quintessentially anime in nature. And it's just amazing. The animation can be wonky at times, but there's just so much heart put into it. You can't be mad. And of course, not to mention the music, which is nice and relaxing and calm, and it just sucks you right in as soon as you start watching it. I really can't explain it better than that. I've been reading the author's commentaries on each episode, and like he says, it's like a window into two actual real people living their lives, where you get to see them as they go along and get to follow their journey. And it's just such a nice feeling. And especially because these characters are not just realistic. I mean, they are a little fiction, fantastical, but the way they talk about things, it's just so satisfying that they're so logical and they don't have silly misunderstandings. But at the same time, they're also too logical, where they try and consider each other too much, and that's where the drama comes from. But the drama is never overblown. It's just a quiet drama, I like to put it. And just the way all that comes together into this fantastic small 12-episode package is something else. Really, I have to hand it to the author and the producers and the voice actors and everybody, the animators especially, everybody who worked on this series. I want to say a 10 out of 10, but definitely a 9 out of 10, probably a 9.5. With that said, that's all I really have to talk about this series for. I really hope we get a second season. If not, I'll probably pick up the light novels sometime down the road, or the manga. Hope to see you in whatever series I review next. Bye.